in a lucid dream, you could prompt to explore other worlds. Like that's what I did. I say prompt. It is kind of like using AI. You just get to ask a
It
question to the
is.
lucid dreaming yourself, and like if you have the right heart about how you're asking it, it will respond.
So, welcome to the Dream World podcast. Today, I have with me Jason, who is in the dreamy community as well. And I'll let you introduce yourself. I'm really excited to hear about like your journey with dreams, like what got you interested in it, and then what led you to create this crypto coin, which is something I'm really excited to talk about because I haven't talked about any dreamy crypto here yet. So, we're gonna learn together. So, welcome, Jason. Please, what's your story?
My story when it comes to dreaming.
Sure, whatever you want to share.
Yeah, okay. I guess I've always been a dreamer. I've always been fascinated by dreams. I've had periods of lucid dreaming when I was in my early 20s. And then it was, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, my dream life really exploded. Um, it was always very active, but I went to this Tibetan, Buddhist temple, and they were having a class. It was right after COVID ended, and they had their first class open to the public, Introduction to Tantra, which went over Vajrayana Buddhism, and I really fell in love with that kind of tantric Buddhist practice, or practices, that is, and I discovered dream yoga. Um, the lama who's teaching the course introduced me to dream yoga after I told her I was having all these vivid dreams doing the meditations she taught me before bed. And so I read this book by Andrew Holacek, Dream Yoga, and I started training myself to have lucid dreams, which I never considered actually training myself to do that. And I was just totally hooked, became totally fascinated. That's when the International Dream Conference came to my town I was living in Ashland, Oregon. I saw the ad in the local magazine, and I volunteered. They had that dream telepathy contest there. I was totally fascinated by that. I ended up being one of the winners there. And what was really incredible is that I had a lucid dream that night in which I attempted to see this target image. And I saw something very striking. I drew it down in the morning with the help of my daughter, who was probably 4 at the time. And it was like, I like definitely had some kind of telepathic hit. And that really kind of blew open my whole cosmological view of reality. One that I've studied a lot because I studied physics, because I was always interested in reality, and this really, like, that whole experience and all the lucid dreaming experiences I've had really blasted open my own perception of reality. And so at this point, dreams are like definitely guiding. Just they guide my life. I'd say they help me in every single way. Whenever they just give me exactly what I need all the time, and I don't even know what I'd do without them. To be honest, life would be much more difficult and less magical. So I'm very grateful for my dreams.
I love that. I went to Ashland as well a few years ago. That was my first one. I actually
Mm.
remember the contest. Wasn't it like a roller coaster?
Mm-hmm.
The image? What did you dream?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so curious.
Yeah, so after being guided for a while by a dream figure, I ended up sitting in a parking lot of a grocery store, and all these kids started coming out of the grocery store with their mothers. And at that point, I was sitting with my guide who was telling me to be patient, and I said, I can't sit here anymore. And I started following these children who are running away, and they're running over this kind of like winding man-made waterway, like a canal. There are these like stones, and it was winding and like go over, like have tunnels and go under the tunnels. And it went up, and it went up to this big fountain. It was actually a fountain of a hippo with water coming out of its nostrils. But the thing was, the shape of it was like the roller coaster shape. It was just a classic, like its whole back went up, just like a roller coaster would, and had a drop. And all these kids were enthusiastically playing all around this fountain. And so, yeah, then the picture was of a roller coaster in a drop, and like with some kids in it. There were enthusiastic. Um, and so yeah, the energy of it definitely was a hit. My drawing didn't look exactly like the drawing because that was more a close up of the roller coaster during the fall, but mine was like almost like a bird's eye view or helicopter view of what a drop in a roller coaster would be. The crazy thing is the night after the dream ball, after I had actually won, um, my wife and daughters come to me with this book they just got from the library, which was about hippos, and actually it looked just like the hippo I drew on that paper. And so really that dream for me was like part telepathic, part precognitive with a hippo, because it was really like just that image just always a mashup of those two things.
That's awesome. Dreams are so multi-layered. I love that you had such a close hit. I remember I also dreamt of like an outdoor staircase, which looking back, it obviously is similar to a roller coaster, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
draw it out because I had so many dreams that night and I just didn't include that one for some reason. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love those contests. They're always so much fun.
Yeah, totally. It was like they also hosted this online precognitive contest that year, and the target image was I think deer against a forest. And my submission, I didn't draw it out or anything, so I didn't like win that one. But I remember it was I was there were dinosaurs in front of a forest, is what I actually dreamt about. And some of the dinosaurs were like the kind with the fanned necks out, and they really looked like deer. And I feel like if I drew that out, they would have like seen like, oh damn, that was close.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
definitely important to draw out what you see in terms like this because it's always impressive how, like, structurally something will be similar, even though your brain interpreted it as something else. I love seeing that.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. Okay, so did you so I don't know if I cut your story off, but I would love to hear about like how you started this crypto coin and like really start from the beginning because I don't know, I imagine a lot of listeners are very new to this world.
Of crypto. Yeah, so I mean, in terms of my professional career, I've worked in the crypto industry as a software developer. And so I'm kind of familiar with it in that way. I never considered combining dreams and crypto. Um, it's not even an idea I had while awake. It was inspired by a lucid dream I had. And so I think it was during this kind of crypto bull run, is what they call it, when all the prices are going up. And I was taking some advice from, let's say, like someone like Ed Kellogg, who's been one of my mentors and teachers, where to actually like try to, get, let's say, like he would use lucid dreaming to try to get stock tickers. Or that would be a good investment. So I was in this lucid dream, and I remember just shouting to the sky, which cryptocurrency will go up the most next month? And then it said in July, which cryptocurrency will go up the most in July? And like sometimes when I ask these questions in the lucid dream, nothing happens, and then sometimes something does happen. I think it really depends on the energy in which you ask, with which you ask. Anyway, this time it did respond, and I was just in a dark room, and there's only a TV on the wall that was off, and it turned on, and it showed this logo of a dog and a golden shining crest. And so I woke up, I drew it down, I researched to see if I could find this logo. I couldn't. And then just had this feeling like, hey, it'd be kind of fun just to start this crypto. And I like met people and I talk about it and they'd get kind of pumped up about it. And I just asked one of my friends if she wanted to join me, and it just kind of started happening on its own. And so all of a sudden, like here I am half a year later, and I had released this cryptocurrency. And so for me, it's kind of like, like you could dream, people could dream and not do anything with it, right? Like they could have this kind of split off world, their dream world and their waking world. A lot of people are so split because they don't even remember any dreams. Other people maybe are so in the dream world. And I've been so in the dream world, I know, and haven't really known how to combine the two so well. And so this is really on like a practice of me kind of combining what I've been doing for supporting myself and my family and what my like passion and spiritual practice are. And so it's a really interesting journey for me personally. I think it's really interesting for the crypto community out there to see a coin or a project that is actually has some substance to it. And so it's like it's been really rewarding, you know. We're just closing our first competition today, and it's amazing to see all these people actually like making art from their dreams and sharing it on social media and talking about it. um, and just to be able to like read their dreams and see this happening in this space is so cool, so rewarding.
Yeah, I love that. That's really exciting. Um, I'm sure that people are going to want to get into it. I love, I've been a little bit into crypto here and there. I'm not like that knowledgeable about it, but I do think it's cool and I see the future in it. So I was really excited when I heard about this dreamy coin. And I love that you guys have a competition. So it says on here that the competition starts on July 31st, right? So it's about to start or
Yeah.
it's ending?
Okay, so I ran like a preliminary
Oh,
competition to
okay.
build momentum for the main event.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just I'm just getting people to make art based off dreams they had and to share them.
Cool.
So
That sounds
that's
so
like a
fun.
yeah, it's like a step one, like a train. I'm trying to train the community in how to best
Yeah, that's awesome.
participate.
I would love to get in there just like as a community crypto dream coach, Like I think these two things eventually go hand in hand in a way. That's really cool. So how do you bring like the vision and concepts of lucid dreaming into like the crypto community? Like what are the uses for it and like where do you see this going?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I mean, first of all, this whole project's inspired by a lucid dream. It's also named Lucid Coin. Um, and like eventually I'd like to train people how to lucid dream, or at least have this be a funnel into getting them to get excited about lucid dreaming and then to start learning the skills of it. And so, yeah, one way is to provide lessons. Or one way of just to share in our social media. You know, crypto projects could have a lot of followers. And so already, Martha and I, Martha's one of the co-founders, we have videos of us just talking about lucid dreaming. We give tips, we describe what it is, like it's going up. And so first of all, we're just trying to get exposure to lucid dreaming, to people who probably aren't very exposed to it, might not be very exposed to it. You know, these are a lot of young people, who live all over the world, who are into community, because in crypto there's definitely a community and there's a lot of camaraderie, but here we're bringing in a new topic. And so I'm just trying to spread awareness of this topic, at least start there, right? And then, I mean, I think personally, in order to compete in the competition, um, lucid dreamers have an advantage because, in my personal experience in the dream telepathy contest, I mean, that was from a lucid dream. And being that I had a lucid dream that night and was able to go after this target image, consciously, I mean, that gave me a huge advantage. If you're not lucid and you're dreaming, or let's say incubating dreams, you don't necessarily know which image you see is the one. So, you know, with such definite clarity, if you're lucid, then you have an advantage. So there's a motivation because, in our competitions, people actually win money. If they win the competition, they win money, and so there's an extra motivation for people to learn the skill of lucid dreaming. Um, and really, I'm just trying to spark people's curiosity.
Yeah, I mean, that shouldn't be too hard. I've noticed just from being in the community that even people that are new to lucid dreaming, they're curious about dreams. They're like, wow, that's interesting. I want to learn. Like, I totally can see that. And within the crypto community, too, it's open minded, futuristic thinking people or computer nerds, or a mixture of so many different people that come into crypto. I just know that like dream work is going to be of interest to them. I've noticed most people are interested in having their first lucid dream or expanding that. So I think it's really cool that you're combining these two things. And I want to talk more in a bit about like, the details of the coin and how to get it and stuff. But for a second, can we go to like the basics of crypto? Maybe give a little like, a little brief description about like, how to look out for like a safe crypto, like what it means, like what sets you apart in terms of like really having like that community and like that team to back up the coin. Like I know that's such a big thing in crypto. Like what
Mhm.
really for people that are new, I guess, like how do you, practice safety in this space?
Yeah, safety is definitely important in crypto. There's a lot of scams out there, a lot of hackers. Yeah, so first of all, when investing in a coin or in a project, It's good if the founders are doxxed. That's how it's called in crypto. All that means is that the founders have revealed their identities and their faces are on camera. Most founders in crypto are anonymous and hidden, and they could do something like
Mm.
called a rug pull, where they essentially just drain the entire all the value out of the coin. So by value, I mean you trade crypto for dollars. Like this is real. Crypto is real money. It's defined as a form of money. Um, and so yeah, founders sometimes have the power to essentially drain all of the money for themselves. This happens a lot. And so yeah, you definitely want to invest in projects where the founders are doxxed, their identities. And there there are other things like the tokens are locked is another way, saying like there's no technical way to drain the value of the coin. Um, does that answer any of your points there, Amina?
Yes, that's pretty much what I was getting at. So yeah, so just for anybody that's like, has that mentality of like, "Ooh, crypto scary." Although we know that now that, you look out for these things, you got the locked liquidity and, the strong brand identity. I love that. I really just wanted to put that in there just for anybody's skepticism. So that's great. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so what's next? Like, how can we get involved? Like, I really want to get into this next competition you guys having coming up, because like you said, I am a lucid dreamer, so I could very easily go in there and try to get the target. I got as far as getting ETH on Uniswap, and I stopped there. I couldn't make it any further.
Yeah. Yeah. Being that we're so new, we're only available on Uniswap right now, and we're also on something called the Base network, which is a layer two Ethereum. So Ethereum is the second most prominent cryptocurrency after Bitcoin. It's a really amazing technology, but it is a little bit slow and expensive to transact on the network. So Coinbase, which is the most legitimate crypto company in the world, as they're public on the U.S. stock market, Coinbase has created what's called a layer two, which is like a technology, like a network that lives on top of Ethereum that's much faster and cheaper to use. So it's essentially free to use it and lightning fast. And it's a brand new technology. It's getting a lot of good press, good. It's a good project. So I built this on Base. Lucid Coin is built on Base network. So you have to get Base ETH. That's just Ethereum that lives on the Base network. So once you have ETH in Uniswap, you could it's called bridge it to the Base network. You just essentially trade your standard vanilla ETH for Base ETH. Should be a one
On
to one
Uniswap or
on
on
you.
Coinbase?
You should be able to do that on Uniswap.
But are you saying that's more expensive than doing it on Coinbase?
No, it's not. If you're on Coinbase and you have ETH, you could send the ETH to Uniswap over the Base network. That will work. That's what I do. And then if you are on Uniswap and you just have normal ETH, there's a way you could just trade it for Base ETH. Essentially, what you could do is just try to trade your ETH for Lucid, and then it'll probably just prompt you to go
I
through that.
tried doing that, and then it was
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh, you don't have enough." So I'm guessing because it's not base ETH, it's just
Oh,
regular ETH.
yeah, probably. So yeah, you want to switch ETH for Base ETH on Uniswap. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will try doing that.
Yeah, yeah. And so this has been the sticking point for the project so far. Is that just Base is new, people aren't used to using it. Um, it's gonna become smoother. Coinbase just released a Base app last week, and it's all gonna get smoother. But for now, yeah, people have to get Base ETH, and that's something they usually haven't done before.
Oh, I see. So I can just switch from ETH to base ETH and then to Lucid Coin.
Exactly. Or you can just buy Base ETH directly on Uniswap.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't realize at first when I got ETH that there was two. So I'm learning. I'm more
Yeah.
knowledgeable of crypto than the average, but yeah, it's such a new world for a lot of people. So then once you have the Lucid coin, what do we do?
Well, you just hold on to it, and hopefully it's going to go up in value over time. But you use it to enter the competition. So to compete, we ask that people hold a certain amount of Lucid, and that's like your ticket. You don't have to spend it; you just have to have it.
Okay, cool. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Uh-huh.
Awesome.
And then if you win, you actually get more Lucid. Like,
Oh, cool. How much do you
yeah.
get? Is there like a coin number of coins, or is it like a dollar amount?
It'll be different, and it all depends on the transaction volume. So like we have a small tax on the coin. So every time someone buys or sells, they pay a 2.22% tax, and that essentially goes into this prize pot. And so it's just a measure to essentially minimize inflation in the coin. But right now, that prize pot's sitting around, I think, on a little under $1,000. Maybe it's about $1,000. And so that'll be split between all the winners. We're gonna have top 10 winners. The top three get the most, on a sliding scale, and the rest will get kind of like the same amount, which is a smaller. And so yeah, 10 people will win. They'll win an actual coin, and so that $1,000 will be split between them. And so every month will be a different amount. But yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Okay. We'll get back into the dreamy stuff in a second, but I really want to hash out just like these very basic crypto facts you have on your frequently asked question here that I like this one. Is Lucid a meme coin? And you say no because it's a fully designed ecosystem. Can you like quickly explain the difference between like what's a meme coin and what's not?
Yeah, a lot of people do think Lucid coin is a meme coin, and like there's arguments of it's not that well defined. But typically, a meme coin is something that's quite pointless, and maybe it's funny, or has some kind of viral abilities on social media. It could be based off a joke or something random that people just like for some reason, and it goes viral. That's the meme. So there's meme coins don't typically have utility, which means there's actually a function for it besides being purely money. Um, our function is that it supports the competition. That's our first function, right? Like you have to hold it to compete. You get paid in it
Mhm.
to when you win. So that's our utility. Mm-hmm. So it's more than a meme. This is more than a
Awesome.
meme
That's
coin.
cool.
Mhm.
Love that. Yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be so many more things in the future that are coming out for it. Like I see so many different like, ideas and uses that could come out of this. Like, once you start teaching lucid dreaming and making that into a whole thing, like I see the vision. I really do. So much so that
Awesome.
I just bought 43,000 coins.
You did. Oh wow.
Yeah.
All
It was
right.
like $90.
All right, Amina.
So I'm really
Becoming a
happy about
whale.
that.
Nice. I see
I'm
it.
in.
You're
Yeah.
it. I see it right there.
Yep.
Good
That's me.
timing. Good timing.
Yeah. Love that. Cool. So what else is there? Like what else do you want to share about your project or about your own personal dream life? Like, where are you going with all this?
Yeah. Let me just say that for the project, yeah, we have our first precognitive dreaming competition starting next week on the 31st. I'm not sure when you're releasing this, but Thursday, July 31st, we'll be kicking off the competition. We're going to try to train people how to incubate precognitive dreams. So there's a lot of layers there, right? First, we teach people how to remember their dreams. Then we teach people how to incubate a dream, right? So you intend to have a certain kind of dream. And then that kind of dream we're having is precognitive. So we're trying to train people how to be psychic. So yeah, it's a few steps there, but you know what? Once you're interested enough in this stuff, it just happens. And so I'm really excited about that. This is our first competition, and yeah, we'll see what happens with this coin. I mean, it's such a passion project,
Yay.
and its purpose is beyond making money, which makes this a very unique cryptocurrency because pretty much all cryptocurrencies are just there to make money, right? My primary purpose of this is really to spread awareness and excitement around dreaming. So, um, yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. We all are over here.
Me too. So should we join the Telegram? Is that the best way to keep up I know
Yeah,
Telegram is big in
Telegram
crypto.
is the best way to keep. Telegram and X are becoming, those have become the places to keep up the most. Uh-huh. So yeah, on Telegram we're if you go to our website, the links are there for X and Telegram. I'd recommend those.
Awesome.
Those are most active places.
Cool. I'm literally double multitasking and doing it right now. Cool. I'll definitely include all the links, and I will have this out before the 31st for, you know, purposes of people getting in on time.
All right.
Sweet. I'm in there. I'm really excited to
Yeah,
be
too.
a dreamy voice in the community.
Yeah, please. We could use as many dreamers in here as possible. I mean, I'm trying to get these people to become dreamers, and they seem to be super open to it. But yeah, we could use as many
Oh,
dreamers in the
I'll
community.
motivate them. I can,
All
you
right.
know, talk about. I'll be the ambassador for lucid dreaming.
Right, Amina.
Awesome. That's exciting. Okay, cool. So everybody definitely get in on that. Dreamy crypto. If you've been like called to invest or get into crypto, I would say this is the way because obviously I trust anything lucid dreaming related with people in the community that I know of. So I support. Awesome. Love
So
that.
yeah, we could talk about just straight up lucid dreaming stuff now.
Yeah, well, I'll ask you a few questions and we can wrap it up. Like what
Sure.
how often do you get lucid and like what types of things do you like to do in your lucid dreams? I love asking people that. Like what do you use your lucid dreams
Yeah.
for?
All right. So for me, it comes in waves. Right now, I'm in a bit of a dry spell just because I've been so busy and I haven't put enough effort in recently. But I'm ramping it up again. So what I do is I put some effort in for about a week. I start to remember as many dreams as possible. Once I hit about 3 dreams a night on average, or like I'm like, okay, I got a huge wave of lucid dreaming coming up. Once I hit like 5 a night, I'm like, okay, this is happening tomorrow night, and then they just come, And so I'd say typically over the last 4 years, like I've had a lot of lucid dreams. What could I say? Hundreds, maybe. And sometimes it'd be like, man, I had like 9. The last wave I had, I'd have like nine in one night. It was crazy. Usually it doesn't happen, but maybe a few times a week I get lucid. So it really is really varies for much of my frequency. But yeah, I try to remember as many dreams as possible. I try to start doing as many reality checks I can a day. Just be and really meditate. And I think for me, meditating is really what is really helps. It really helps a lot. And my sitting practice is a little bit lagging right now, so I'm getting that back up. And I know my lucid dreams will start coming again. Um, what do I like to do? There's so many things I like to do. It's pretty difficult to decide I actually want to do on any given night. And sometimes in the dream itself, I have a different urge. I'd say some of the coolest stuff I've done has been like Kundalini energy work, like energy movement, because I could do that during meditation and stuff, or breath work when I'm awake. But when I do it in the dream, it's like there's no resistance to my body. It just like moves. Um, and other stuff is like maybe connecting with my animal energies is cool. uh Once I shouted this prompt that I want to know what it feels like to be a silverback gorilla. It's like, how did
I
I come
love
up
that you
with
call
that?
it a prompt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it is a prompt. I had a dream about a gorilla, and then I was like, man, and I thought I was reading one of Robert Wagner's books, and I was like, man, I should just try to he has these prompts he uses, like, what does it feel like to be this or to be that? What does it feel like to be love? So I was like, what does it feel like to be a silverback gorilla? That was really cool because I was running, and like in lucid dream I was running, and then all of a sudden I expanded the energy and started running incredibly fast and powerfully. And I can still use that in my waking life when I exercise or run. I just remember that dream and I just start going faster. um yeah, what else do I do? I like to talk to dream figures and ask them if they think they're conscious. I even asked a dream figure once if she dreams, and she
I
just
love
looks at
that.
me. Yeah, she just looked at me like I was stupid. I was like, yeah.
I do that a lot. Talk to dream
Okay.
characters and pick their brains. That's classic.
Yeah, like see what their memories like. Like, hey, do you remember your parents? Hey, what do you eat for breakfast? That kind of stuff. Hmm. I could go on and on about what I like to do. I was like
Yeah,
a
I know it's infinite.
yeah, flying and telekinesis are two of the other things I really like to do.
I love that. Do you remember your first ever lucid dream? Like, were you a childhood lucid dreamer or did you learn as an adult?
I was a teenager in my first one. I think I was in
Nice.
high school, and I had this dream where my friend's mom dropped me off at middle school, and I was like, wait. My friend's mom would drop me off at middle school, but I know I'm in high school now. And then I just became lucid in that moment, and it was so incredible, just to be lucid for the first time. Yeah, and you know what? I didn't like. I wish I had people around me or some resources at the time to really push me into going deeper, but I didn't. And so it took me a long time, like until I was in my 30s, to really get going with like doing this intentionally. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally understandable there. Same here. I just kind of was exploring on my own, and I didn't even know that you can like improve on dream control and the length of your lucid dreaming. Like, there's so much to improve on. There's always something to learn there. So that's cool. Awesome. Cool. So where do you stand? I like asking this question too, because it kind of is always such a divide, like between like the whole science and spirituality debate. Like, where do you stand? Do you think this is just in our brains, just a dream, or are you like we're traveling dimensions in other worlds type of thing? Where on that spectrum?
Mm. I embrace all of it. I think it's all is there. I think it's not even like different things, right? Like again, like I studied physics because I'm so interested in reality. I've thought about this from the scientific perspective a lot. And I just think some dreams are just you processing information you saw during the day. Some dreams are there to help you prepare you for becoming a more capable person or some experiences that could happen. Other dreams are like deeply psychological healing, and other dreams are yeah, you're like exploring other worlds or meeting like beings that exist outside your unconsciousness. The first thing is like our consciousnesses are such a vast universe. I like to think of it like the earth. Like, I mean, we're awake, we're like, you could make an analogy, it's like we're on land, and but there's so much more to us in the seas, and like there's all these ecosystems on the ocean's floors, like we don't even know it's in the ocean, right? For me, it's kind of like that. Like our own psyches are an entire universe that is mysterious and unknown, and there is more outside of Earth, right? There are other planets, there's other places to go. So like, to me, I just came up with this analogy on the spot too. It's interesting, but like there's a whole vast multiverse out there, right? Like we are a universe in our own psyches, but there's a whole multiverse to explore. And sometimes you get in your spaceship and actually like get to other places. And I've used lucid dreaming for that, and I've attempted to go into other worlds in lucid dreamings, and according to my experience in those times, I did. Um, and that's what I believe.
I believe it too. Yeah, I relate a lot to that standpoint, the different types of dreams, that it's both. Sometimes we're just in our heads and sometimes we travel on these far, far journeys. I've experienced it too, and you can't convince me otherwise because I was there. So yeah, totally. I relate. I love lucid dreaming. I think it's awesome. I think everybody should experience it at least once. Doesn't matter if like you're an adult or if you had them as a child, anybody can learn. So yeah, I'm excited to just continue to be a part of that community.
Yeah, yeah. You could even prompt in a lucid dream. You could prompt to explore other worlds. Like that's what I did. I say prompt. It is kind of like using AI. You just get to ask a
It
question to the
is.
lucid dream yourself, and like if you have the right heart about how you're asking it, it will respond. And so yeah, I've had those experiences a couple times. Like I would just say, "Take me to another world. Take me to another world." I would just repeat that, and then all of a sudden, it's like, woof! I get sent
Yeah.
through portals and end up somewhere that's totally different, and
A
feels
lot of
totally
times I'll
different.
use, like, doors or, like, literally mirrors to just, like, walk through them, and then, like for me, it's a lot about confidence, like, if I believe that the scene will change, I'll be in a different room, a different door. But it's funny that you said the prompt thing because I've talked to a few of my friends that are in the technology world, AI world lately, and a lot of them have started to use, like, AI prompt styles to, like, command their dreams to do things,
Hmm.
or even, like, run a program on their computer or whatever it is. Um, so yeah, I think that's really funny how our like our way of thinking and processing our dreams changes as we use technology in different ways. It almost kind of mirrors that. I always thought that was super cool.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so any closing words of advice for new dreamers out there, or maybe long-term dreamers, or anybody thinking of learning more about it?
Yeah, advice. Just like always, for me, it's like always remember, I seem to forget things a lot that I used to know. Is like stay meditating. Remember, meditation is important, especially before bed. Um, Stay aware everywhere you go. I mean, it's like my main practice is becoming aware. Like, I lose my focus. I get sucked into my life and snapping back into like, oh, here I am, snapping back into lucidity, um, in the moment, and just following your breath and being in the moment with everything you do, and living intentionally. I think those things are so important when it comes down to lucid dreaming. Um, I could say a lot with like dream tips. I'm going to stop myself. I'm sure your listeners have a lot of them out there. One day one day soon, I want to have a dream training business as well. I'm going to be calling it Empowered Dreaming. And it's been cooking in the back of my mind for too long. And I'm going to come and release that soon. And maybe we could talk again then. And at that point, I would have lots of trainings and advice to do for all your listeners. But just like stay curious, remember your dreams every morning, give them their honor, write them down, give them titles in the middle of the night, when they're still in your mind before they slip away. And that title, giving dreams titles, in those kind of groggy moments, for me has been a way to essentially like hook on to the memory of the dream. Because you could forget the whole dream, but if you remember the title and you think about it, the whole dream could come back to you, and then you could write it down and stuff. That's one of the ones I really use a lot.
Yes, that's such a good tip. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. That is a good one. I do that without even realizing it.
Mm.
Cool, cool. Okay, I have one last question, like looping back to the crypto coin thing, because I noticed something, and then we'll end it there, and I'll say the website. So
Okay.
lucidcoin.xyz. I'll put it in the link for anybody that wants to check it out. So for the competition coming up, it says here, once people submit their dreams, their guesses, once the window closes, then you randomly select a target image, right? So this is kind of like a meta trippy illusory nature of time question. Okay, so maybe it's irrelevant. But like if I'm visualizing the dream before you pick a target, I'm kind of like viewing the potential possibilities of the future, and then you pick the target. Why did you do it that way? Was that intentional?
Yeah, it is intentional. Well, it's a precognitive dreaming competition, and really, all it is
Oh,
exactly what the ISD is running. They do it once a year. I'm just adding a couple layers on top of it, which are I'm asking people to actually make a visual representation of what they saw, and then I pay them money if they win. So, and I'm just use
okay, so it's
cryptocurrency
not like
as a
you're viewing the current selection, you're viewing the future selection.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what makes
huh,
it precognitive. Got it. Okay,
exactly.
cool.
And let me also say, I'll give a reference code for all your listeners. Maybe just AMINA. How about AMINA all caps, and you could use it. You could play for free, like for that. How's that? You don't actually have to own the coin to play if you use that reference code. And
Oh, cool.
I don't tell this. Yeah, I'm just keeping this in the Dream community. Reference codes like this. So for this first competition, yeah, use the code AMINA.
Yay. Awesome. Thank you so much. I will
Mm-hmm.
include all of that. And yeah, I really appreciate you joining me talking about your passion project and your lucid dreams. It's been really fun. I will be participating in the contest, and I'll let you know once this is out.
All right. Thank you so much, AMINA. Thanks for your support.